Hi, what's up everyone? It's Jacob here from String Buzz again, and this time we're going to have a little short sort of overview, all-in-one take review of the brand new Papa Roach song. And the reason why I'm doing this all-in-one take is because I just think with song reviews that there's not enough substance and not enough weight for you to really bother dividing it into different sections. So anyway, I've just come off the Ireland versus New Zealand game in the rugby, if anybody follows rugby, and I'm a bit pumped at the moment. So I might have a lot of adrenaline going in this review. So anyway, back onto the point. So if you look at the comebacks of this year, I think it's fair to say they've been pretty shoddy. I mean, you take like Bon Jovi, they're having a mare of a time, in my personal opinion, at the moment. Then you've got Sum 41, which that sucked. Good Charlotte, which was probably the worst. You've also got Blink 182, that wasn't so great either. So going into this track, I was quite worried, if I'm totally honest. I mean, Alien Ant Farm did pretty well on their comeback. I went and saw them live as well, and they sounded great. But Papa Roach I was a little bit worried with, because they've always been a band which is sort of teeter-tottered between, you know, cool and different and really cliche and cheesy. So it's fair to say that I didn't have too much of like high expectations going to this track, but I actually came out really quite surprised, because I think that this is one of the better comebacks I've heard in a little while. I mean, I know they've never really left the scene, but it's been a long time since they've released anything, so I think it's fair to say that this is a comeback. And so it's Crooked Teeth, in case you didn't already know. And the good things about this track is, for me, is more based around production rather than the musicality. I mean, I know the guitars sounded a little bit thin, and the tone of the guitars sounded quite weak at times, but I think the production has kept this like early 2000s stateside rock feel. Like, it still sounds a bit rough, it still sounds a bit aggressive, and it doesn't sound too clean or glossed up, which is what I felt with the Blink 182 comeback in particular. Like Skiba and Hoppus on that just sounded robotic from the amount of like post-production. So I think this time around they've managed to keep that minimal. I mean, the drums had a lot of impact, the bass covered the low end brilliantly, and the vocals still sounded rough, and they still sounded just as aggressive as, you know, how this sounded 10 years ago, which I think is great. Moving on to the musicality, it was really good to see them trying all sorts of different things here. I mean, they went down routes where they had melodies similar to like Rage Against the Machine, which really surprised me. Like, there was a little solo section with guitar harmony that sounded a lot like a Tom Morello type lick, which I thought was really interesting. I didn't really get the little electronic part in the middle. There's about 8 to 16 bars worth of this, like a little electronic sort of interlude type thing in the middle, and that just didn't fit at all. I don't understand why they went for that. But I did how like they tried changing up the form. Changing up the form for me for stateside rock songs, like it goes either way. It either sounds really disjointed, and this did lose cohesion a little bit, or it just sounds bad. But this time around, I think they did it really well. I think it was good to see them not just go verse, chorus, tiny bridge, chorus, end. They actually tried switching things up. They didn't like hammer home the hook too much, which is good, because I found the hook a little bit monotone and it wasn't too great. But I did enjoy what they did here, and I've got to recommend this track. I gave it a 7 out of 10. You can see the full written article down below on stringbuzz.org, the music journalism site. And yeah, I got to recommend this track. I really recommend you give it a listen. I think if you've fallen out of love with all these bands who are making this comeback, I think you're definitely going to like this one. So yeah, if you enjoyed this review, if you agree with me, then, you know, comment down below. I want to hear your suggestions on songs to do next, and suggestions why you might have disagreed with me. If you didn't already know, I think I definitely said that it's a 7 out of 10. I'm making sure I do not forget the rating this time, because what's the point of a review if you're not going to give a rating, because people don't care for the rating anyway. So yeah, read the full article on String Buzz there. You can find tons of other content as well. Hopefully there'll be other reviews going out today. The only reason I missed Saturday is because I had some busy stuff happening in the hospital and all that sort of great stuff. But yeah, I'm back again, so see you around next time.